Welcome to Thursday Night Live. It's my son's birthday today. 35 years ago today. Actually, 36 years ago today. Because my son's 35. That's like 35 years ago today. No, 36 years ago today. You didn't turn one until a year had passed. So 36 years ago today, I gave birth. Hang on. Got to fix this. Via C-section to a 7-pound, 14-ounce baby boy. So a poor bugger, he had the day off today, and I didn't realize that, and I phoned him like at what a time I thought he'd be getting up to go to work, and I woke him up to sing him happy birthday. And then I phoned later and left it on his message, and then he called me back later and said, okay. So I sang to him, and he said, the Bubba enjoyed that very much. And I said, well, Bubba's used to me singing to him. I sing to him whenever I get the chance. So I'm just going to wait and give everybody time to get in, and I'm going to do my smudging. And then I'll say hi to everybody. Smoke of the sacred white sage. Clean these cards. Clean me for you. Oh, hey. Cleanse of negativity. Okay. All right. Give me a second here, and I will pop out the names. You can't find me on Patreon. Oh, well, hang on a second now. Seashell will put the link up for you shortly. Because that's what Seashell, if you notice, she's always on the ball. It's almost like she never talks other than to say hello and put up links. Say hi, Seashell. Let everyone know. I want to let everyone know what a wonderful moderator Seashell is for me on a regular basis. God bless you. I turned 68 on Valentine's Day. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, sweet Mary Cook. Happy birthday to you. Oh, it wasn't Briar. It was Arthur's birthday today. Briar's birthday is in 4 days. I actually thought it was pretty funny when we saw them on the weekend because I said, no, you're 5 days apart. And I wasn't thinking, and they're looking at me like, Mom, you gave birth to us. No, I'm on the 16th. I'm on the, the other one's on the 20th. And I went, right, it's you're 5 years apart. 5 years apart in age. So let me pop out. And if you want me to say hi, you better have made a comment because this is for participants. Angela! Hello, my love. Seashell. Aloha. Carolyn Benjamin. Corey C. Freedom Sassy. Holly Jordan. Aces. Julie Skuga. Skuga? Yeah. Just for your FYI. Karen. KB Canner. Linda Bopp. Lola Granola. Lori Lizor. Mary Cook. Happy birthday 2 days ago. And it was Gracie's too. Well, actually, hers was on the 11th. We tell her it's on Valentine's Day, so she feels special. Mary Cook, Mary Ann, Michelle Barnhill. Hi, Minnesota Farmer's Wife. Mama Dukes. Hi, Tanya. Monique Yap. Nina Beverly. Oh, let's just do this here. Oh, and it happened again. I go to scroll down, and then it's gone. I don't understand it. I just don't. So let me pop this out. It's this new, oh no, I don't want to report anything. It's this new, no, I don't want to report. It's this format for some reason, only on YouTube, pop out chat. Whenever I get whenever I open a YouTube video, it used to be on the left and the comments would be directly underneath and all the ads and stuff would be here. Well, now it's center. All the ads are below and I have to go all the way down for the comments. And whenever I go to pop out and say hi to the participants, when I go to scroll to get to the very bottom, they all disappear and I got to start all over again. So, yes, Gracie's 7 years old. 7 years old. And she still is as well, maybe not as spry as a puppy, but she still loves doing zoomies. She still, loves romping around and stuff like that. Hey, Mary Jo. My birthday was 2 days ago. Oh my gosh. Happy birthday, Julie. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I'm getting my fill today. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Julie. Happy birthday to you. Okay, I'm done. 7 is the beginning of old age for a boxer. Boxers live 7 to 10 years. Some very rare cases, they can live to be 12. Like, in extraordinary cases, like maybe 1 in 20 will live to like 12. But our last boxer, Emma, was full-sized and she only lived to 9. And Gracie's smaller, so we think she's going to have a longer lifespan. We're hoping she'll live to 12. Gypsy Mama! I used to have a good voice, but thank you for saying so, FYI. Lived to be 14. Well, what was she mixed with? Or what was your boxer mixed with? So, I was pretty busy today. Hey, Chaos, Angie, how are you, darling? Pam Robinson, hi. Linda Bopp. Well, we'll see. We'll see. She's pretty spry for someone who's like my age right now. She's a lot more spry than I am. Like they say dogs for every 7 years, 1 for every 7 years. When she's 1, she's not, this is the way it works with dogs, okay? For a boxer, when she's 1, it's not like she's 7 years old. It's closer to like being 12 years old. When they're 1. When they're 2, it's kind of like being 21 years old, 21 years old. Then when they're 3, it's like 28 years old for boxers. You know what I mean? So it all depends on the breed. Like, if she was, say, I don't know, a smaller dog, but she is a smaller dog. She's a small boxer. So, Mary Jo, Bev, I got my baby chicks. We ordered 20 and they sent 2 extra, but we lost them. Oh, I'm sorry. You lost the 2, but you didn't lose them all, right? I have to wait. I'm going to have to talk to Steffi and see when she's getting some chicks. I actually considered getting rabbits this year because they're easier to raise. But I don't know if they're going to be cheaper when you get them as kittens. You know what I mean? Yeah, I may be 59 years old, but I'm walking around in the body of an 80-year-old. Thank you, fibromyalgia, arthritis, lead poisoning. No, not Angora rabbits. Hey, Freaky. I'm sorry, guys. I got an itch. No, not Angora rabbits. Those are for wool. Those are for knitting. Those are for pretties. I'm talking meat rabbits. What do you think, Howie? Chicken or meat rabbits? He's not listening to me. It's okay. He's watching some of interesting political stuff. Californians aren't bad. Californians and New Zealand's. I'd buy the hair to spin. Well, Bev, Angie had a question about canning meat. Okay. Ask it again, Angie. Which Angie? There's more than one Angie here. Rabbits have soft fur. This is true. Bev, I'm canning cooked hamburger. Do I can it with or without the juice? If the hamburger is cooked, you do not have to can it with juice. You can dry can it. But I would pack it in, not really pound it down in, but I would pack it in because when the vacuum hits, the ground beef goes down. Like if you just fill it to 1 inch from the top without packing it down some, it'll be the jar will be half full. And for you, I would use half pints. Rabbit poo is good fertilizer for your garden. Yeah, it can almost go straight in. If you want to can it with beef broth, you can, Angie. But if it's just, as long as it's loosely like cooked and then broken up loosely, no, you can it without any juice at all. As a matter of fact, cooked hamburger is the only way you can hamburger. Can I can it at the same time with my raw chicken? Yeah, meat is meat. Yeah, if you're it's going to be whatever the time is going to be. Now, just remember, when you're canning, say they have different canning times. Hamburger. It's going to be fine. But make sure if you're processing two different kinds of things that you process it for the length of time that the one that needs the longest processing time. So if one needs 75 minutes and one needs 90 minutes, you're going to process them both at 90 minutes. You're welcome, darling. Best meat rabbits or Flemish Giants? I don't say so with Flemish Giants, because the problem with Flemish Giants is they take more. They're like hay burners. They take more feed per ratio of meat to grow. They take longer to grow, whereas a smaller meat rabbit like a New Zealand or a Californian will grow quicker on less feed and give you more meat. Not a fan of rabbit. I would gladly eat them. I am interested in raising them for meat, but I would like to try it first. Oh, honey. Go to the grocery store and buy yourself a frozen rabbit. Then hack the back legs off and hack the front end off and put it in 2 jars. Put them in 2 jars. Bone in. Okay, bone in. Bone in meat, like chicken or rabbit, actually has a shorter processing time because the bone inside the meat kind of leaves it hollow in the center and it cooks faster. But the best way to do rabbit is to can it. You put the whole body length in 1 jar and you put like the legs and all that another, unless you can break it all up and fit it in 1 quart jar. And then you add a slice of bacon. And then you can it like ugly chicken. It comes out, I shit you not, the juiciest meat that tastes like turkey. But it's juicy. Oh, I love canned rabbit. You don't have, here they're $30. But there is somebody up the line there that breeds rabbit. So I'm gonna see, because I would, and maybe I'll talk to Raph. She knows somebody too, because I would rather buy them as kits. But then, you have to reassure them you're not buying them for breeding. You're just buying them to raise them and that. I love rabbit meat. The only problem with rabbit meat is it's so lean. Like if you make rabbit sausage, I made rabbit sausage once. If you don't add fat, it's like dry and crumbly, right? So that's why when I can rabbit, like you can freeze rabbit, sure, right? But the problem is the only way to really cook a whole rabbit is to stuff it and then lay strips of wrap it in bacon and then roast it, slow roast it with the lid on and then off for the last little bit to crisp up the bacon. Those are the ones I'm talking about. Yeah, the Flemish Giants. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Seashell. Reading with Beverly Wolfe, folks. What a day. I recorded 8 chapters today. And then I went back and checked, and for some reason, I have to re-record 3 of them because my mic quit working. The Easter chocolate ones. Of course they are. Hi, Jill V. Bacon makes everything better. You're right, Lola. Hey, Grandma Gina. I know, sweetheart. I read Chatonese. Rabbit, like, let me tell you something. I'm going to, I wish I could find it. I can't because I'm on the wrong channel. I made a holiday dinner for two with canned rabbit. I have a video on our half acre homestead, and I showed you how to make a jar of canned rabbit into a turkey dinner. I shit you not. And the reason I could do that was because of the piece of bacon that I put in the jar. One whole slice bacon in the jar. Of course I get you. We're peeps. I like rabbit meat, but my husband and daughter won't eat it. Then don't tell them it's rabbit. Don't tell them it's rabbit. Can it with bacon. They'll think they're eating turkey pie. Trust me. Not when Matt cooks bacon. He makes such a mess. It's not better. Hey, Natalie, how's it going? You started your onions and celery yesterday. Well, my celery's coming up. I'm going to have to transplant cabbage and tomatoes tomorrow. I know everyone thinks I do it too early, but I have to really get them to a large size to get any growing season out of it. I had to replant all my onions. I planted a whole package of organic Spanish onions and nothing happened. So now thank God I buy things in twos, eh? It does taste like chicken, but if you can it with a piece of bacon, it tastes like turkey. I always wanted to try rabbit, but my mom wouldn't let us. She was afraid they carried too many diseases. She'd have never survived on the prairie. I have banned Hubs from cooking. He makes such a mess. Starting onions tomorrow. Well, I started onions today. I've got celery, and I'm thinking, oh, they didn't do very well. And then I remembered I didn't use a full package. And also that I'm only planting one bed this year. So I'd stop myself just short of opening a new package of celery seed because I'm pretty sure I got enough for one, if not two beds. I'm not fond of frog's legs. Howie is. Kangaroo. What's kangaroo taste like? I'd like to try that. Does Howie cook when I allow him to? Yes, of course he cooks. When we go to the races, yes, I make sure there's bagels and cream cheese and cereal and stuff because I don't cook. I will cook maybe 2 meals in the weekend. One day it might be bacon and eggs, and another day it might be a supper or a lunch. I'll make us sandwiches for lunch or whatever if he's hungry. But normally, Howie cooks supper when we're at the racetrack. Steaks or sausages, or he'll get the little tabletop barbecue out and he'll cook. That is expression, Bev. You kill me. What expression? Doing good. Friend fell on the ice and needs to have surgery on his ankle. Oh my God. Yeah, the ice is really bad right now. My husband is a better cook than me. Oh, there's rabbit pie. Thank you, Seashell. Howie once made me a smoked duck dinner. And he did a beautiful job. And he's cooked me trout when he was fishing. I'm not fond of duck. Never want to eat duck. Lily, off topic, but before I go, I wanted to thank you for your channel. I'm a single mom in Wisconsin, and I've learned to can and preserve for me and my daughter. You rock. I don't rock, Lily. You rock. Do you know why? Because you took the initiative to learn to do it. Good for you. Good for you. Let's pull the Universe Has Your Back card just for the group. The kangaroo was made in a stew, and it was so tender, like a melt-in-your-mouth venison. Ooh, there you go. There you go. Whoops. Exactly. But, you're welcome, but you did that all by yourself. Isn't that beautiful to think? That's a beautiful thing about YouTube. I was able to share the things I've learned, because I'm still learning, hence the carrot bread, right? Because I was able to learn and I could share, you then got a chance to learn, and now you can share with your daughter. You see, this is the way the life circle goes, right? Hey, Fiona B. Hi, Holly. Mary Jo, you're asking me, has anyone ever eaten goat meat? Hey, Howie, Somebody wants to know if we've ever eaten goat meat. In Quebec, we call that chev. And we used to raise goats for meat and milk. Huh? We've eaten several goats. And the tricky part about goat's milk and goat's meat is never butcher an intact buck. That means they have their testicles. Never butcher them. They stink and their meat is tainted. Never eat a female goat if she's been around a horny old buck, right? So ideally what you would want to do for goat meat, and goat meat is very much like beef. Very much like beef. It's a little bit sweeter and a little bit more tender because you don't raise the you get male goats. And now some people raise meat goats and some people raise dairy goats. I have found that a good dual purpose goat is, what are the white goats called, Howie? Do you remember what the white goats were called? Ole and Sven? But I can't remember, but they're like a dairy goat, but they're a very dual purpose breed. Chivo and cook it in a pit, right? Well, they're a very dual purpose breed. They're all white. And what you do is you find a goat dairy farm. And in the spring, when all the goats have had babies and they're into their milk again, the farmers sell the males really cheap. And what you do is you get the males nipped, and then they become wethers. And wethers, just get fat like any other snipped animal, like a steer. And they are delicious. Trust me. There's a grocery store about a half away, and it's Somali owned. In Spanish, Spanish and French are very, very similar. It's, I think the actual word for goat is chevois. Chevois. And we just call them chev. I wish I could like comments on here. That's okay, Granny. I love goat. There's a grocery store. Right, exactly. And we went to an international market to buy goat meat before we ever invested in goats. And then I marinated it, and we barbecued it, and it was quite tasty. So, yeah. And I had, I don't want to talk about my goats. I miss my goats. The best goat I ever had's name was Busy. And she was an Alpine, and she gave me Clover and Blossom, who both died one winter because of bitter, bitter cold. No matter how much we fed them or how much straw we gave them, it was just like 40 below for 2 weeks straight. They died. But I would manage to get Clover, Blossom, and Ditto all died. But we managed to get Clover's babies C-section before she passed because she couldn't get up on her feet. And that was Ditto and Snots. And Snots we ate, and Ditto we used for breeding, but I mean, we got out of it. When it took the heart out of me. It took the heart out of me when Clover and Blossom died, because those were the first babies born here, and the first baby goats born here. And I was watching her, and she seemed fine. And then I came in the house, I had a nap, I went back out, and I thought 2 chickens had escaped. I looked in her pen, and here where she had 2 babies. No help from me, no nothing. I had a goat named Dinner. Yeah, Busy was, I know, those are miniature goats. And, you can get a little bit of milk from them. But when Busy was in full milk, like we had a 69-hour power outage. And I thought, like I could never get milk off of Busy because she was feeding the kids. So when the kids were old enough, Clover and Blossom were old enough that they didn't really need her milk anymore, I thought she was empty. And then we lost our power, and I had no way of keeping milk cold. So I went out to the barn, and I got a half a cup of milk from her, and I went, holy crap, Busy, you still got milk. And I worked her back up over time. to where she was giving me a gallon a day. That's a lot of milk for a goat. But you can get into meat breeds and you can get into dairy breeds, but it's best to buy a good dual purpose, the males, and get them from a dairy farm, and get their nards pinched until they fall off, and then raise them for meat. I love, goats make me happy, and laying hens, not chickens, laying hens. Laying hens and I had a lot. I just used to go out when I first had laying hens, when we lived in Colborne, Ontario, and Briar was a baby. I used to take my lawn chair and my cigarettes. Yes, I used to smoke cigarettes. My lawn chair and my cigarettes, and I would go out on a sunny day and I would just sit and watch them do their chicken busy things, their fluffy little bums up in the air and stuff. It's just they've got such personalities, Yes, we did yes, Mary Jo Mosley, we did process them ourselves. Everything we raised here, for meat, we processed ourselves. Chickens, turkeys, geese, ducks, goats. We even did a steer once. Pigs. I mean, that's pretty much the extent of it. Hey, Linda, how's it going? Hey, hot child in the city. Hi, Rosie Slade. I'm sorry, I was off key there. I was just trying to get it out. I love chickens. My roosters are my heart. I have 2 silky roos and a buff Orpington. I liked having 1 rooster, just so I could hear him cock-a-doodle-doo in the morning. I miss that. And you know what I miss is the sound of beep, 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 beep in my office in the spring when I've got babies in a Rubbermaid bin raising to get ready to go outside. Running wild and looking pretty. No one knows who she is or what her game is. Let's hit the like button. Well, thank you, Linda. Thank you. Oh, right. I was going to pull a universe has your back. Wow. That didn't take long. Okay, group. The key to prayer, and I haven't even read the whole thing, but I'm pretty sure it says the key to prayer is to forget what you think you want. Okay, the key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. Why? Why is the key to prayer to forget what I think I need? Because the Creator knows more than me. Creator knows what I need, even knows what I want. And God always answers. Sometimes the answer is no, and only He knows why. Hey, Stephen, my onions, my Spanish onions, not one seed came up, Stephen. I had to replant them today. You're getting 20 Isa Browns soon. Oh, I miss. My brother's going to build me a chicken coop. See, that's the problem is chicken coops for laying hens. They're a lot of work and you have to overwinter them. And it's a lot of pain in the butt in the wintertime. But I miss my laying hens. But no, Stephen, they were brand new organic Spanish onions that I ordered this in the fall. He knows what we need when we need it. Exactly. I have a silky. Mine is a fluffy blonde. She's getting old now, but she's in an indoor pen, like a pet with bonus eggs. Don't know. Hey, Queenie. So if you notice the picture today, my thumbnail is a squirrel. And yes, he's hanging upside down. I sent that to Howie at work and said, when the nights are freezing and the eaves are dripping, we tap trees. He thinks it's got to be put off another couple of weeks. I'm like, no, this weekend. And then I was in the bathroom and I saw the little squirrel. And this is something my dad pointed out to me when we first moved to Apsley, was you watch the squirrels, because when the sap is running, they'll go And I was watching them. They were going up and down the branches looking for a broken, they'll chew off a little bud on a branch and then they'll go whoop and hang upside down and drink the drips. Hang upside down, go. Mm, 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 mm. And I sent that picture to Howie and said, the squirrels are tapping our trees. So, yeah, I know it's time there. I'm trying to talk my husband into building me a chicken coop. Well, make sure it's winter worthy because it's not worth it to keep chickens only for 6 months or laying hens for like 6 months. They're good for like 3 years. But I do hope you succeed. I think my favorite are barred Plymouth Rocks. They're a nice dual purpose bird, and when they're done laying, they fatten up quite nicely, but they're never good for anything other than stewing. Hey, Wild Fox, I'm doing pretty good. Well, I've sang happy birthday at least, 4 times today, 5. So anyway, I just thought I'd come on and do our Thursday night live. That's why I don't have laying hens here, only chickens. I'll help out friends who have large coops, but I don't want to overwinter. Exactly. It's a real problem. But I think I'm going to get in touch with Steffi and see if I can't get some meat bird chicks when she orders hers. And I've looked at Home Depot and I'm going to get 1/2-inch hardware cloth wire so that weasels can't get in. Hey, Kathy Waters from Wisconsin. Meet Steven Seedfelt from Milwaukee. I'm going to get the 2x4s and the nails and the staples and the hardware cloth and the hinges. And I'm going to say, Howie, build me a pen inside the greenhouse. Because I want to I don't necessarily like meat birds. But it's a dirt floor in there. They'll be fine, right? So, I don't know. We just can't let them run around in the greenhouse because the bottom of the greenhouse is made with skids so that airflow comes in, and then there's 2 windows where the air goes out. So it's like constant airflow, but that means that's bad for weasels and stuff. Oh, awesome, Sassy. That's wonderful. Pam says, I want chickens, but I heard if you have chickens, you will have mice. My neighbors would hate me. Everybody has mice. And you won't have mice if you keep the feed in garbage cans with tight-fitting lids. What did I miss? Same here in U.S. with the CBDC. That's their way to control everything we're able to buy when it's all said and done. Don't want that to happen. I missed something there. What did I just miss? The American breast chicken is a dual-purpose chicken. They lay eggs and meat birds. The thing is chickens, now hear me on this. Yes, they're good dual purpose. And they're only good for stewing and soup afterwards. Why? Because meat birds are usually butchered at 16 to 18 weeks old. A laying hen doesn't even start to produce eggs until 20 weeks. So by the time you get 6 months of eggs out of that chicken, even if you butchered it after 6 months, it's still going to be tough as India rubber when you cook it. Right? I heard Canada is a lot closer to implement that program before America's. What the hell are we talking about here? What program? Somebody fill me in. CBDC. What is CBDC? Can somebody tell me what that is before I enter into the conversation? I have mice. I kept chicken feed in 5-gallon bucket with a lid. It worked. Linda Bob. Okay. Wait a minute. She knows of tiny birds to take care since I have problems with balance. Someone told me instead she knows of tiny birds. You mean quail? Central bank digital currency. Yeah, he can try. but he is not a majority leader. So that has to pass with the full rest of Parliament. This is why our political system is broken, because Trudeau is still in power with only 32% of the vote, because he has the backing, or had the backing, of the NDP. There's going to be an election. Trudeau, I'm going to tell you folks, Trudeau is an empty-headed moron. And we all of us, almost 90% of Canada, bought into his bullshit when he first went on the campaign trail. He was treated like royalty because of his father. Well, guess what? Turns out he has more of his mother in him. And he's a dickhead. He's a loose, moral man who does nothing or thinks nothing of lying to get what he wants, and then laughing and saying, well, I changed my mind. That's the man supposedly running our country. Now, if he had a majority government, he could probably muscle that through, all along with the gun bans of hunting rifles and shotguns. But he won't be able to do it because he's in a minority government. Trudeau has no real power. The only thing he has power to do is spend money, which he's doing, and it's killing our country. Can we be off this topic now? I don't like the man at all. Quails are small. I don't think quail are hard. You just have to, know what you're doing. I've never done quail for one simple reason. They're like ducks. I would have them as pets. I'd have them as pets. I can't do quail. I could if I absolutely had to. But there's no way I'd be able to there's certain animals I just cannot do. It would be like asking me to dispatch and butcher a horse. I just couldn't do it. Right? About all I can handle is a parakeet. Hi, Roxanne. How are you, darling? Well, now, Stephen, they may be fussy, but they're not fussy to clean. There is a way of doing quail. They've got this kind of hook thing. Now, please, if you are sensitive and you don't want to hear this, plug your ears or go get a cup of tea. But there's this thing that duck hunters use, and it's kind of a slicing hook. And they have a way of going, and then they just pull the breast off, and the skin comes right off, and you have the breast. It's like working with partridge. Only quail are smaller, right? So you don't have to gut them and pull all their feathers off. You just pretty much pull their breasts off, and like skin them and pull their breasts off. Quail has a unique taste. See, I hate duck, Stephen. It's like, it looks like beef. It almost smells like beef, but it's shaped like a chicken. My brain does not know how to tell my taste buds to enjoy that. She suggested because of my balance, and it could be kept in my basement. Yes, it can, but do yourself a favor. Make sure you have some kind of really nice wide tray under their cage that you can line with newspapers, and that you can roll up and either compost or burn those newspapers. Because I'll tell you something, they are birds, and birds do not have a separate organ for peeing, a separate hole for peeing, a separate hole for pooing, and a separate hole for laying eggs. They're all come out of the same hole, just like a chicken. Okay? So there's going to be ammonia in the poop. So you got to be really careful and make sure it's well ventilated. Oh, Barbara M. I cannot do duck at all. No, I'm not, maybe if you cooked it, Stephen, but no. She suggested because of my balance. Barbara, not true. Unless you plan on selling the meat, then you must have a license for that. Okay, what am we talking about? In the USA, you must have a license to raise quail in most states. No, that's not true. only if you're selling them, right? And guess what? I'm not telling anybody to break the law. I would never tell anybody to break the law. But there are certain kinds of civil disobedience that we should always stand for. And one of those things is, I got an acre. I'm not asking anybody squat permission if I want to raise 6 chickens. Why? Because it's nobody's damn business. Don't ask. If you've got the space and you know how you're going to control it. Hey, Queenie, thank you, darling. Do you want a card, sweetheart? If you know how you're going to do it, and you've got the proper setup with ventilation and housing and all that stuff, don't ever let anybody tell you different. Queenie, do you want a card, darling? No cards. Okay. It's been years. Well, a card just came up, so I'm going to read it anyway. It doesn't necessarily have to be for you. It's for everybody. It's been years ago that we had them way back in the 70s and 80s. Okay, Imagination is a card that I just pulled from The Soul's Journey. Embrace and nourish the creative. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. Everybody should embrace and nourish the creative aspect of their mind. What am I getting out of that? Stop asking everybody else for validation about what you know is right. Right? It's like, Trudeau saying, oh, well, there are some hunting rifles, and yes, it's going to affect hunting rifles and shotguns and stuff. No, it's not. You know why? Because our country will not allow it. Yes, they may get the majority of the vote in the cities where everybody goes, oh, no, I don't want guns. Because they will stoop. The government will stoop to interviewing everybody in the center of a downtown city, saying, do you think guns should be legal? Well, nobody in their right mind's going to say guns should be, or do you think there should be a ban on guns? And they go, oh, yeah, because they're thinking in the city of handguns and violence and gangs. By the way, all of those guns are illegal. In the country, you try and take a farmer's or a hunter's or anybody who lives in the country, and you want to take the only means they have of providing for their family or protecting their livestock from predators, you want to take that away? That's not going to friggin' happen. Do you know why? Because there's more country than city. Yes, there's more people living in the city, but let me put it to you this way. It goes against my Charter of Rights to remove my ability to feed my family. 4 hens would be more than enough. Well, if I could figure out a way of keeping 4 hens in like my porch or something, I would do it. Hell, maybe I could do them out on the veranda in a box with a light or something. I don't know, but that goes against how I like them to run around too. It's ironic that anti-gun people think you should just call the police, except that's admitting they are waiting for someone else with a gun to come and save them. Well, not if you live in Britain, because those cops don't carry guns. In the UK, not all cops carry guns. They have to have a special task force that carries guns. They have to be specifically trained. I think everybody should be trained in how to handle a gun. Everybody should be trained about muzzle direction and safeties and keys and gun safes. Every child by the age of 10 should know how to safely handle a hunting weapon. Agreed, dear?
Yeah, and be able to plug a squirrel in.
Yeah, I mean, squirrels are good eating. Especially if you soak them overnight in buttermilk before you fry them. Did you see I baked today again, Bev? No, I didn't. What did you bake? It's thing is what people need to realize is that there are educated anti-gun people and then there are uneducated anti-gun people. Educated anti-gun people are people who want illegal guns off the streets. That's an educated anti-gun person. An uneducated anti-gun person wants all guns gone. And that goes against all of my rights to be able to look after my family. I hunt. Not often, but I hunt. Let's not forget the doe tags this year. Yes, please check that. Especially after they eat your maples tree sap. Oh, see, yeah, well, no, those little red squirrels, I don't worry about them. They're just doing their business. It's the big black buggers that have come up from the city. Have you seen any black squirrels on our property lately? You know what, though? 2 little red ones were running up and down that back tree drinking the sap out of broken branches. They'd eat a little branch off the bottom and then hang down and drink the juice. So my dad taught me how to tell when the sap was running, because the squirrels come out and start drinking it. Most of my family knows how to use a gun. They like going hunting, especially deer hunting. I was taking to training for gun safety before my parents allowed me to hunt. All kids need to go through it, even if they don't hunt. Well, that's the whole point, right? You know, there's kids who get into parents' guns and have accidents. That's not their fault. That's because the parent wasn't smart enough, A, to educate their child in safe gun handling, B, to lock the thing up and when they're not around, and C, they've made such a big mystery and guns and all that stuff that kids can't friggin' stay away from them when they get the opportunity. Educate. Teach them how to safely handle them. Teach them how bloody dangerous they are. Okay, before I teach you gun safety, I'm going to go out and I'm going to show you how to plug a pig in the head so that it doesn't come back and chew your leg off or run you down. There's a special place to hit it if you're going to do it with a .22. But you show that child that this is what a gun can do, and then you do your business, and then you sit them down and you talk about gun safety. And you say, in the spring, I'm going to show you how to handle, clean, load, and safety lock and store a gun properly. That's what needs to happen all over What country is it, dear? Switzerland?
I think so. Switzerland, yeah.
I think it's Switzerland, where everybody by a certain age has to go through a gun safety course. They are issued a gun and they have to do some service time. But the truth is, everybody by a certain age knows how to handle a gun and carries one, and they're safe about it. And they got one of the lowest crime rates. You know why? Because if you take guns, or if you make guns illegal, then only the government and the military, then only the military and illegal criminals will have them. Where does that leave the rest of us? Just saying. Nina Beverly needs your advice. Okay, Nina Beverly. I tried the marijuana as I was told to do, and oh my gosh, I had a major panic attack. What kind did you try? Panic attacks can be common, especially if you are sensitive emotionally. Panic attacks can happen if you smoke or use a really high sativa. Speaking of which, I've got to take my chocolate before bed. So I would recommend a small amount of indica. Try that. And if it happens again, you could be like, some people I know who can't handle it. Like I know one person who says, I have a panic attack if I smoke Purple Kush. I said, I don't understand that, because it's an indica and it really relaxes you. And they said that may be the problem. that I didn't, I felt panicky that I didn't like being in a body stone where I didn't want to move or wasn't sure I could move. That person is fine with a sativa, which is a neurological high, puts pep in your step, yada, yada, yada. But if someone is sensitive, really sensitive or prone to panic attacks, sativas can be a real pain. I know because I smoked Cindy 99 once, and it's a 99% sativa, and I had a panic attack. So, I mean, you got to do your research about your strains too, right? What kind of gummies are good for anxiety? I tried one kind which has THC 2% in it. That's about right. But you want to make sure you want CBDs. Oh, this is good. What is this? Salted dark chocolate. Do your research on your strains and on your percentages. Like the peaches and cream that I was given, the peaches and cream flour I was given, is only 14% THC. And that actually does nothing to me. No, that's not true. I don't get high, but I do get enough pain relief and muscle relaxation to help me function. Hey, Joe Mama. When you are new at marijuana and or if it doesn't suit you, I can't do sativa. There you go. Some people can't do sativa. Some people can't do indica. It's all about knowing yourself and knowing your strain. So please do your research. What kind of CNDs? You mean CBDs? CBD. Okay, here's where not a lot of people understand the difference between hemp and marijuana. Hemp, by the way, you can make fabric, concrete, insulation, fake wood, you name it. Okay, you can do that with hemp. And you can make shampoo and soaps and ointments. But hemp is where the CBD comes from. CBD is the medical side of the marijuana that actually helps you heal. All right. But CBD comes from hemp. And marijuana comes from marijuana. Now, those plants are cousins. Okay? It's like two different kinds of tomato plant. One has cherry tomatoes, one has beefsteak. You know what I mean? It's like two different kinds of, or have you ever seen one of those plants, where they advertise tomatoes on top, potatoes below? That's because both plants are nightshades and they somehow splice them. Marijuana has been perfected in many ways, where they have bred hemp and marijuana to get THC for relaxation and pain relief and CBD for healing. So that's why, you may want to look at something with a low percent THC and, 6% CBD. I would say try some Dutch treat, CBD Dutch treat, because it is all CBD and it's very relaxing. The vet told me to get some for my yappy dog, but didn't say what kind. What did you get? Yeah, you can get CBD you can give to your dogs. Pretty much any CBD is going to be relaxing because you're not dealing with sativas or indicas. You're just dealing with CBD, right? So all you want to deal with is the strength. And then all you have to do is read the instructions for your dog. For the CBD gummies, I found 2 gummies, about 20 milligrams, work for me, chilling me out. There you go, Aaron. Anyway, guys, obviously I'm taking my medication, so it's time for me to get ready for bed. CBD treats for my dogs for when there are thunderstorms. There you go. I take some every day along with my meds. Now listen, if you're doing cannabis edibles in any way, shape, or form, don't do them all the time. I don't do edibles every day. Why? Because your body builds up a tolerance to THC and CBDs and all that stuff. So what you want to do is you only want to do it when the pain's really bad. Like I was saying to Howie, there must be rain coming because my hands aren't working properly. He said, no, it's snow. Them shows. It's still precipitation. Now, before, I want to let everybody know that this is the time we say our little prayer. So before we go, I want to say anybody who doesn't want to stay, thank you for joining us. Stay safe. Know you're loved. Take care. God bless. For the rest of us, you don't have to stay. There's no judgment if you don't want to stay for the prayer. But now is the time that we come together. It's my last piece of chocolate. These are 25 milligrams of THC each. If Howie ate a half of one of these pieces, he would probably be knocked right out. I've been on it longer. But Howie doesn't. He's been known to, but he's not a fan of cannabis. So, hey, Joan. So for all those who care to, when my chocolate melts, please help me close with some spiritual nourishment. This is where you tap into your faith and I tap into mine. And religion has no bearing on this conversation to our Creator. This is about light and love, divine light and love. Well, it's not that he's a lightweight. He just doesn't like the lack of control feeling. He really doesn't. I got this as a free gift, actually. I was sent some of this, and some gummies and that to try them out. And right now I'm trying that out for tonight. I'll be doing a review on it tomorrow. Oh, Helen, I'm sorry, darling. Yeah, it's just, it's to each his own. It's like Briar. Briar hurt his knee at work once and asked if he could have a piece of my fudge. And I said, okay. So he ate a piece of fudge and he didn't feel anything. So he ate another piece of fudge without my knowing. And he came up about 4 hours later going, my heart, whoa, right? Briar has, he has anxiety issues. And the fudge I made was with a sativa-based butter. And well, not sativa-based. It was more than 60% sativa. And he had a massive panic attack, and he won't go near the stuff ever again. That's just Briar. Period. Full stop. Pray for the trains. What trains, Tur Truck? What train wreck in Ohio? Okay, Paula. Okay, well, you can fill me in on an email. For all those who care to, you connect into your faith, I'll connect into mine. And together we will join hearts and hands across the world. And we'll lift each other up. So let's do some deep breathing. Oh, bring in the light. Exhale the anxiety for me earlier in the day or earlier in the week. Inhale God's love. Exhale any self-doubt and negative thoughts that stand between you and your Creator. Inhale that love. Exhale the fear. Hey, God, Creator and source of all. How's it going? Thank you, God, once again for tonight's live stream. I really, really love connecting with my YouTube family and friends. And it always reminds me to be kinder to myself, because I can be really judgmental. And yes, I can be really judgmental and harsh on myself, but I also don't have to beat myself up when I make mistakes. So, God, We know every day. Everybody here knows you got our back. Always have our back. You know, we talk to you, you're always there, even when the answer is no. You always are shedding the light and love of yourself all over us every day. And we get it, God. We're grateful and we know, you know, that keeping in touch with you starts with our gratitude. But there's a lot of folks out there, God, that are fighting to get through the darkness every day, the darkness of pain, anxiety, family issues, financial issues, job worries, world crap coming down. And they don't necessarily always know that if we just hand all that crap that we can't control to you, that life would be so much easier. We got that, God, but a lot of people don't. And we want to lift those people up to you, God, so that the light of your love can shine down on them. We want you to fill us with the light of your love, God, so that we glow with it, so that people want to know where it came from. And in that way, we can lead by example. Not always a great example, God, because we're only human and we make mistakes. But God, we know of your love. We know of your eternal love and light. Nothing else compares, and nothing else should be able to get in our way. It only does when we allow it. Thank you, God, for bringing us together and showing us the light of your love as we lift each other up in these chaotic times. Look after all those folks that are facing things that they just don't know how to handle. We ask, God, that they hear us when we say, give it over. Give it over and deal with what you can control. Thank you, God, for lifting us up every day and bringing us together. Amen. Namaste. Shalom. Peace be with you. Merry meet, merry part, blessed be, miigwech, walk in the everlasting light of God's love. Whatever it is, when we talk to somebody with love, it's always better received. So why shouldn't we talk to our Maker with love, right? That's the language, light and love. Take care. God bless. We'll see you guys on Sunday. Mwah! I love you. Don't ever forget that. Just because I'm sitting here and I can't see your face doesn't mean I can't love you, because I do. All right. Take care. See you Sunday.